You've built the entire Git and GitHub workflow from the ground up. You can configure your identity, authenticate securely, and manage your history with confidence. You know how to branch, merge, and resolve conflicts without breaking a sweat. You've collaborated through pull requests, issues, and code reviews, and you've automated checks with actions. Now it's time to bring all of that together in a real open source contribution. You're going to fork a repository, make a fix, open a pull request, navigate a review, and land your change with a clean, squashed merge. This is the moment where everything clicks. You've read the guides. You've starred the repos. But your code still only lives on your machine. Today, that changes. By the time we're done, you will have a merged pull request on a repository that is not yours, the fork, the fix, the upstream PR, the review round, and the squash before merge done the way open source actually works. Let's ship it. We start by reading the room before you write a single line of code, because understanding the existing project is the real skill. Next, you fork the repository, wire up 2 remotes, and make the smallest change that fixes the issue. Then you push to your fork and open a pull request against their repository, which is where the collaboration begins. Finally, the review is the job itself, because that conversation is how you earn trust and get merged. You walk away with a repeatable contribution workflow you can use on any open source project. Jumping straight into code on a project you do not own is the fastest way to get a pull request closed. The real first step is reconnaissance. You need to find work that is actually meant for outsiders, understand the conversation that already happened around it, and learn the project's specific rules before you write a single line. That is what this lab does. We will scan for issues tagged Good First Issue, read the whole thread on one we like, pull the contributing guide, and then claim the issue in a comment. Watch how each command peels back a layer of context you cannot get from the code alone. You start by listing open issues labeled Good First Issue in the TinyTask repo. Issue 212 pops up. Add input validation to render. Before coding, you view the full thread and see a maintainer specifically requested a null check and a test. Then you read contributing.md. It mandates branch names like fix/issue 212, signed commits, and tests. You scan the comments, no one has claimed it, and the repo had a merge 2 days ago, so it's active. Finally, you claim it with a clear comment stating your plan. Now you can safely start coding. We start by listing open issues with the Good First Issue label, then we read issue 212 with all its comments, and finally we fetch the top of the contributing.md file. The output will show us exactly what a maintainer expects before they ever see our diff. First, GHIssueList filters the opankly/tinytask repo for open issues carrying the Good First Issue label. That label is the project's way of saying this is scoped for a newcomer. Next, GHIssueView pulls issue number 212 with the comments flag so we see the full discussion, not just the title. Then GHAPI reaches into the GitHub API to grab the raw contributing.md file, we decode it from base 64 and pipe it through head to read the first 40 lines. The note commands are not real GitHub actions, they are lab helpers that print the 4 checks you should run in your head before claiming anything. Finally, GHIssue comment posts our claim on issue 212, telling the maintainer we intend to fix the index error and add a regression test. The issue list confirms 4 open items tagged for newcomers. Issue 212 is a confirmed bug where render crashes on an empty list, and the maintainer has already agreed on the fix message, nothing to do. The contributing guide tells us to comment before opening a PR, use conventional commits, and run the test suite, exactly the kind of house rules that prevent a wasted review. Notice that no one has yet claimed the issue in the thread, so our comment stakes the work cleanly. That is the reconnaissance complete. We now know the project is alive, the maintainer wants the fix, and we are following their process from the very first step. When you contribute to a project you don't own, you can't push directly to their repository. The fork model solves this. You make your own copy on GitHub, clone that, and add the original as a second remote called upstream. You pull updates from upstream, but you only ever push to your fork, which is origin. This keeps their repo safe while letting you work freely. In this step, we'll fork the TinyTask project, wire up both remotes, create a branch from the latest upstream main, fix the reported crash, add a regression test, run their test suite, and commit in the style their log already shows. Watch how the remote names map to the push and pull directions. Priya forks the TinyTask repo, which clones her own copy and sets origin to her fork. She checks git remote v and sees upstream pointing to the original opankly/tiny task she'll never push there. She branches from upstream/main to stay current, then edits render.py to add an early return for empty lists. She writes a test that calls render with an empty list and asserts it returns nothing to do. Running pytest confirms the suite passes, and she commits with a message matching the project's existing style. We'll fork and clone in one command, then inspect the remotes to see origin pointing to our fork and upstream pointing to the original. After that, we branch off upstream main, make a one-line fix, add a test, run pytest, and commit with a message that matches their history. First, gh-repo fork with the clone, remote, and default branch only flags creates the fork on GitHub, clones it locally, and adds the upstream remote, all in one step. Lab identity sets the Git user for this lab. Git remote v shows both remotes, origin is our fork, upstream is the original. We then fetch upstream to get the latest commits, and create a fix branch that tracks upstream main. The subst command inserts a guard clause into the render function so an empty list returns a friendly message instead of crashing. We append a test that calls render with an empty list and asserts the expected string. Running pytest q executes their test suite quietly. Finally, we check the recent commit style with git log, stage our two files, and commit with a conventional message that closes the issue. The fork and clone output confirms the fork was created and all objects were received, with the upstream remote added. The remote listing shows origin pointing to Mukesh dev/tiny task for fetch and push, and upstream pointing to opankly/tiny task. The note reinforces the golden rule: origin is your fork, where you push, upstream is the original, where you pull from and never push to. After fetching upstream, we see the branch set up to track upstream main. The test suite runs 32 tests and passes, proving our fix didn't break anything. The git log shows the project uses short, conventional commits, and our new commit follows that same style. Up to now you had write access, so mistakes were yours to fix quietly. The capstone flips that you cannot push to the target repository, and a maintainer who has never met you will decide whether your pull request is worth an evening. That means the mechanics of pushing to your fork and opening the PR are only half the story. The real work is in the body, explaining the problem, the fix, and the evidence so clearly that a stranger can trust the change without asking a single question. In this step you will push the branch to your fork, create the PR with upstream as the base, and watch their CI pick it up. Pay attention to the body template, it is the difference between merge today and stale in 3 weeks. Mukesh pushes his fix/empty list crash branch to his own fork with git push origin. Then he opens a pull request using ghprcreate, setting the base to opankly/tiny tasks main branch and the head to his forks branch. The PR body clearly states the problem, an index error from render, the fix, an early return, and the evidence, tests passing on Python 3.10 and 3.12. Once created, CI runs automatically, and Mukesh checks the status with ghprchecks 218. This concrete example shows how a well-structured PR from a fork gets attention from a maintainer. I will push the branch to my fork, then use the GitHub CLI to open a pull request against the upstream repository. The output will show the push, the new PR URL, and the CI checks that start running immediately. First, git push origin fix/empty list crash sends the branch to your fork and sets the upstream tracking. Then ghprcreate targets the upstream repo with repo opankly/tiny task, sets main as the base, and points the head to your forks branch. The title follows the conventional commit style they asked for, and the body uses a here doc to supply the full template, problem, fix, testing, and a checklist that matches their contributing.md. Finally, ghprcheck shows the CI status for pull request 218. The push output confirms the new branch arrived on the fork, and the tracking branch is set. Then ghprcreate prints the pull request URL, number 218, opened against the upstream main. The checks list shows 2 passing test suites and 1 pending CLA signature. That pending check is a gate the maintainer will watch. The body you wrote already confirms it is signed, so the status will flip green shortly. The note on screen drives home the point: a maintainer you have never met is deciding whether reviewing this is worth their evening. Problem, fix, evidence, that is what turns a stranger into a reviewer. A pull request is not a one-shot delivery, it is a conversation. The maintainer reviews your code, asks for changes, and you respond by pushing more commits to the same branch. That keeps the discussion threaded and the diff evolving in one place. While you work, the upstream repository may move forward. Before they ask, you rebase your branch onto the latest upstream main so your PR stays clean and mergeable. When the maintainer requests a squash, you collapse your work into a single, well-described commit. Throughout, you use force-with-lease to rewrite your branch history safely. It refuses to push if someone else has added commits since your last fetch, protecting work that is not yours. This is the final mile, the review is the job. Watch how a single request turns into a merged contribution. Priya's PR number 218 adds a render function, but the maintainer asks her to hoist the empty message string into a module constant. She edits render.py to define empty message and updates test-render.py to use it. After PyTest passes, she commits and pushes to the same PR branch. Meanwhile, upstream has new commits, so she fetches and rebases onto upstream/main to stay mergeable. Finally, she force pushes with force-with-lease, which safely updates the remote branch but refuses if anyone else pushed to it in the meantime. We start by viewing the maintainer's review comment on the pull request, then we extract a repeated string into a module constant, push that commit, rebase onto the updated upstream, squash everything into one commit, and finally confirm the merge. First, GHPR pulls the PR comments so we can read the maintainer's request. Then we use subs to replace the hard-coded string with a module-level constant in both the render module and its tests. After running PyTest to confirm nothing broke, we stage and commit the change with a conventional commit message, and push it to the same branch. Next, we fetch the upstream repository and rebase our branch onto upstream/main, replaying our work on top of the latest code. The push uses force-with-lease to safely update the remote branch. For the squash, we set Git sequence editor to turn all but the first commit into fixups, then rebase interactively and force push again. Finally, we check the PR state and the linked issue to confirm the merge. The maintainer's comment asks us to hoist the empty message into a constant. We do exactly that, and the tests pass. After rebasing onto the updated upstream, the force-with-lease push succeeds because no one else touched our branch. The squash collapses the work into a single commit with the original message, and the PR shows as merged by the maintainer. The linked issue is closed automatically. This is the whole loop: auth, commit, branch and rebase, fork, PR, review, CI-gated merge, and force-with-lease is the safety net, the same loop at every company. We have covered 4 concrete automation tasks, from inspecting a repository to opening a pull request, all driven by PowerShell. The single most useful thing to carry away is that the pull request workflow is entirely scriptable. You can fork, branch, commit, and open a pull request without ever leaving your terminal, which turns a manual chore into a repeatable, fast command line routine. Before you write a single line, read the room, check if someone already claimed the issue or if a maintainer said no. Once you start, remember, origin is your fork, upstream is the original. You pull from upstream, never push to it. When you open that pull request, show the problem, your fix, and evidence it works. That's what gets a stranger to spend their evening on your code. During review, take the note and ship the change. And when you push an amended commit, use force-with-lease, not force. It protects you from blowing away someone else's work on your branch.